Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm going to show you my favorite holy grail drugstore products that most of them I use like almost every day. And that's pretty much it. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off I want to say that I have more dry skin, pretty normal in the summertime, but more dry in the winter. So that might affect my preference on certain products compared to how others may like them. So just keep that in mind. This is my absolute favorite primer. It's the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Face Primer. They have like a few in the collection, like a green one and stuff, but this is the only one I use and I just absolutely love it. I've used like the Smashbox one, Tarte, all other like high-end brands too. And this is just my favorite. I think it's totally comparable to the Smashbox, at least for my skin type. It has that like jelly material and just makes your skin nice and smooth. So I love this stuff and I use it all the time, like pretty much every time I put on makeup for like a year now. Okay, on to foundation. There's a couple I really like, but my favorite will have to be the Fit Me. Surprisingly enough, not the matte and poreless one that a lot of people love. I love the Dewy and Smooth one because, again, I have dry skin. So the matte one tends to make me kind of dried out in my T-zone area around here. This one just gives me a really nice finish, really good coverage, but still natural looking. So I love this one. So I think if you have dry skin, you should definitely check this one out over the matte and poreless. I would say matte and poreless is definitely good if you have oilier skin. And I have the shade Porcelain, which is starting to get a little dark for me, which is pretty sad because it's the shade Porcelain. Total white girl problems right now. Porcelain's too dark for me. Ugh. Okay, next I'm going to do my favorite concealer. All-time favorite is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. I love it. Put it all over my under eyes, T-zone. Lately I've been putting a little bit up on my eyelid for, instead of a eyeshadow primer, I just put on some concealer. I have the shade Fair, and I like the shade Light as well, but now that I'm really pale, this is what's good for me. But I just love this concealer. Really natural looking, good coverage, doesn't crease up too much, just love it. My favorite drugstore product, powder, is still Rimmel Stay Matte, and I have the shade Transparent. Lately I don't use it as much now that I have my Kat Von D contour palette. I'd like to use the powders in there, but for my drugstore one, I really like this one. I like setting my under eyes with it, even my whole face. Most of these products I do have on right now, except the lip, because with my whole look I have going on right now, I just needed a different lip. But yeah, so I use this powder and I set under my eyes and my whole face, and I really like the Stay Mattes, and they're really not expensive. The only thing about them is that they tend to break easily. I think it's so cheap because the packaging isn't that great. The product itself is, but yeah, I've had a bunch of these crack before, which is sad, but just be careful with them. And again, I have dry skin. Even though it's Stay Matte, it's still not too drying for me. On to blush. Okay, so my absolute favorite drugstore blushes are the Milani Baked Blushes. You guys may have heard of them before, but they are just bomb. I just love them. I have 4, and I really like all of them. I would have to say my favorite is Luminoso. It's a peachy shade, and I typically like blushes with some shimmer in there, not too much, but a little bit, and these have some shimmer, so just really like this one. And you can wear it all year round with pretty much all different kinds of looks. Even though I did kind of like a cooler look today, it still looks good with the look. Okay, so for eyebrows, I really like the Milani Brow Fix Kit. I use the shade Light. Lately, I brush them out and then I use a brow gel first. I've been using the Anastasia one. And then I just feel that like consistency while it's still wet on your brow. It allows you to just kind of draw on your brow shape better with the powder. And at first, I was using this middle one. It wasn't even really showing up that well. So I actually started using this one, which is kind of dark for a blonde, but I just use it really lightly. The brow gel dries, just makes a nice shaped brow however you draw it out. And I actually do use a brush in here too, which is nice. The tweezers aren't bad. They have like a pad applicator too, but I don't mess with those. And even the highlight shade isn't too bad. And these can be used as shadow, so I just like how they're really good for traveling. It's really versatile. Okay, so mascaras, I could not pick I couldn't pick one because every time I do my mascara, I use these two every single time, and I have a method that I use. CoverGirl Clump Crusher was like my old school one that I used in high school and stuff that I loved. But nowadays, I just start with CoverGirl Clump Crusher and I focus it on the tips of my lashes to like lengthen, extend the fibers on there. It's the only one I use on my bottom lashes. And then after that I take falsies. The thing about falsies is it's a really wet and thick consistency. Every time I use it I tend to like scrape a lot off. But then after that I focus this one on the base up, so to give it volume, because falsies is really good for volume. It's called the Falsies Volume Express. Next up is an eyeliner. What I do like to do is put a nude one in my waterline. And the one I really like is this Milani one. It's the Shadow Eyes in 10 Almond Cream. It lasts really well and it's really creamy and pigmented. It makes your eyes look brighter and more wide awake and more open. Okay, and then for liquid liner, I actually really like this Wet n Wild Mega Liner. I think it's really pigmented and lasts a long time for a drugstore one. I always use this to like start off my liner and make the wing. Okay, now on to lip liner. I really like this one in particular, the Milani in 03 Nude. It's just a really nice shade for a lot of different colors you can use it with, like nudes, you can go darker, pretty much anything. And then it's also a really good shade for defining and like contouring your lips or whatever. My ultimate favorite lipstick, like everyday lipstick, is Nude Creme by Milani, and I just love it. And I don't even know if you can see that, but it's literally almost gone, and this is gonna be the first actually I just bought a new one today. Literally the first lipstick that I had to buy a second one of because I ran out. It's just a perfect everyday lipstick if you don't like too light of lips. Like I can't do too nude, I just feel like it looks weird on me. And then I also don't like too pinky stuff either, just because I don't know, I don't really like too much of like a pinky lip. So this is just the perfect shade for me, and you can wear it for the really simple look, a really glam look, anything, all year round. Okay, and then I just wanted to show a couple brushes. My favorite drugstore brushes in general are the Real Techniques. They're just really good, and they're not expensive at all. I wanted to show these two in general because they're just like my ultimates. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush. And it is my favorite brush for like liquid foundation, BB cream, anything like that. It just like blends everything really good. And then this one, it's actually the contour brush, which I didn't know. If you can see the shape, it's like angled. What I use it for is to set under eye powder on top of my concealer. And I used to use this e.l.f. one that was in the same shape, but it was just a little bit rougher on the skin, and this one's just super soft. And that is it for my favorite drugstore products. Let me know if you use any of these in your daily routine, or if you want to try any of these out. Please give us a like if you liked it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!